What's up, San Luis? What's up, San Luis fan? Welcome to another therapy session. This is your boy Musa, Jeremy, Oscar, and Oscar is in a very good mood, it looks like. And Somo City, so he's smiling, so that's a good start. But with that said, fellas, it's Monday. How we feeling? Not all at once.
We're alive. We have
We're
life. We have health.
We're alive. Okay.
Oh, we're talking about soccer. No, we're not good. We're not good. I mean, and it's something that we predicted that it was gonna be something like this. Watching it wasn't fun, but it, in my opinion, for me, doesn't hurt that much just because we kind of knew what kind of challenge we were going to. So
uh, we're here, man. This might be a record. I might be more upset than Oscar for once, guys. I'm still fired up. I'm not happy with this loss. I know and we'll get into why. I expected it. Like I was on socials, like hoping for at best a draw, but damn, we were embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry. I said in the supporter section to a few guys in front of me that this is the kind of game that I wish we still had Lutz around because he could go on KMOX the day after and blast the team because that's what they deserved in my opinion. I don't care about the talent gap, but that's what I wanted. I'm fired up.
Oh wow. Okay. I think we'll probably Yeah, I think it will be a record because I'm probably on the same boat with you, Jeremy. But also we're also not the last one because our good friend Dan he went straight to the point, and he's so before we I so how about we talk about the game first? I'm going to save that because I'm sure rating the player's performance is going to be a big one. So instead of making it very painful discussion, so let's wrap around the entire game in one sitting versus going from half to half. How you guys feel about that?
So I think for me, there's a lack of conviction and there's a lack of uh, pride in the team. We have mentioned it during the season that we don't see that fire, we don't see that uh, blood under eyes. They're trying to win something to make the other team respect your badge and your club. Um, I mean, I rewatched it today because obviously during the game I didn't really see much of the game. Just that we were getting score and score and score. So, um, but rewatching it, it was kind of painful to see where players don't give an F about it when they lose the ball. Um,
Mhm.
there was no like that urgency of coming back and getting in position, going on a tackle, winning a 50-50 ball. It was just not there. And it was like, well, if we can play and pass the ball, it's okay. But if we lose it, it's like, okay, forget it. I'm not going back for it. And that comes from not even just like not the defenders itself, but more like the midfielders and our superstars that they should be setting an example. They were just not there. They just didn't give a damn when they were losing the ball. So that's kind of frustrating when you see um, that they're getting behind and you're just walking or jogging back like, it's okay. While you see the LAFC players like just flying by, wanting to score more and wanting to get in positions, moving around, making everybody confused with all the moves. So it's very frustrating in that end.
Yeah, Oscar, that's where I'm at. That is my biggest issue is you're playing at home. If like I threw up the stats on social media at halftime, reading those stats, you would have thought this game was in LA. We were dominated. We were embarrassed in the first 45 minutes. Did it get a little bit better in the second? Maybe, but that's game state because they're not going for the kill at that point. They're just, I mean, we couldn't get anything going. We couldn't play through them. It was like, I think I counted, we had a chance early with Sang Bin. And then I don't think we got into their third in the final third at all until after the 30th minute. Like, I'm not bothering to rewatch the trash that game was. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my investment. I know I'm not the only City fan that feels that way right now. I'm sorry. I told you I'm fired up about this because for this to be the second to last home game, whether you have a playoff chance at not, which it wouldn't have mattered because RSL won, you've got to do better. You've got to show some passion. You've got to show some heart. You've got to fight for the badge. Like, you've got to do better. You've got to respond you got to respond to the adversity. It should not take until 10 minutes into stoppage time in the second half where Klaus trucked a guy for that to happen. Like, where was that for the first 100 minutes of the game? That is what left me so that combined with and Leuven said it after the game, the way we played scared pissed me off. And I'm just going to cut to the chase on this too, and I'll shut up after this. If this doesn't end the David Critchley conversation for head coach, I swear to God, I don't know. I don't have any faith left in this front office because he was clueless. He was outclassed. Cherundolo's side made us look like we were just absolutely a peewee squad of like under sevens out there because, my God, we couldn't even string a pass together, and he didn't even have an adjustment to fix it, whether it's in the first half after a goal or the injury stoppage to Lloris or coming out of the half. He was helpless. That's what this game was, and it was pathetic as hell.
Ooh, Oscar, did you give him your drink or something? Because
I guess he was too close to me on Saturday.
it kind of sounded like you kind of rubbed it off. All right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Trying to digest it all. I guess we don't have any superstars, by the way.
Well, they want so-called superstars.
I think for me, one thing that kind of jumped on me is the physicality that LAFC had compared to what we had. Was like we almost look like we were. I won't say 7 younger, but it kind of looked like we were out muscles. I think Wallem was pretty much he got shut down completely. He was not able to do much of what he wanted to. And I think when Leuven said played scared, it looked like most of our defense kind of looked scared, not trying to make the bad move or overextend himself for Bouanga to pretty much pass him. But what just happened is that what you're seeing online now is that they're showing St. Louis defense being horrendous and called it out as like it's the MLS picture. That's all that I've seen today about. And the biggest one was Timo, kind of backing up. I think someone said that if he would have backed up a little bit too more, he probably would have been in the net.
It would have break Berkey's feet stepping on him.
So that alone, it's a very awful joke to just hear. And we're not talking about an MLS player. That's a German, experienced defender.
Yep. Bundesliga 2 guy.
Yeah, even though still, right? He's still. It kind of looked like LAFC was just more prepared than we were. And I'm starting to see maybe that's how we're getting outplayed so much is because we're not physical enough.
Well, that goes to my point. Like, there's no like that fire. There's not that passion where these players want to go in a 50-50 ball and tackle someone hard. Like, we saw it on the first play by Son Heung-Min that crashed into Lloris, but I don't even think that was a fight for being sending a message. I think he was just
No, that
like
was the ball.
clumsy. Like he just saw it. He just saw it late and he went clumsy. Um,
Mhm.
but other than that, it just there's no that instinct of fighting for what we want or fighting for a win. I mean, LAFC is already on playoff, but now they're trying to fight for winning the Shield. So they're fired up. They're trying to
They
win
were
every
having
single
fun.
game, win every single ball. Um, and it's one of those things that you see them nonstop, like going, moving, making runs. Any foul that City made to one of their players, there was two or three guys on top of the guy that made the foul, like saying like, "Hey, what the heck? Don't hit us," you know. But when we get hit, it's like everybody's so spread out. Nobody cares about your injured player. Nobody does anything. There was one specific play to Son Bean that he gets wrestled out with a headlock from the right center back. I don't remember his name. Gets the call against Sambin for some reason. He stays on the ground with a head injury, and nobody of St. Louis City goes towards the guy that just headlocked him.
Nope.
They don't give a but part of my French, but they don't give a fucking shit.
That's not French. No, just kidding.
No, you're
They
No,
right.
just don't
no,
care.
yeah, I and that's the one that's the I think that's the term that kind of bothers me a little bit. Uh,
Oh,
the
wait,
not
I gotta
caring.
use it today like this.
I mean that I don't know if I probably won't go as far as saying don't give a. You know what? I still don't have. I cannot put my finger on it just yet. I don't know if it's maybe the type of player they are. Maybe that's not part of their um, aura,
Nature.
yeah, or nature
They're
to do that.
cold. They're
But
cold.
then that's when you have other players that are supposed to be doing stepping up to do the work. You know, we always hate to hate those other teams that have those type of players because that's their actual job to do it. But I think maybe for us, when maybe have that characteristic of it's they're all nice guys, but then we get to a point to where being a nice guy does not work.
No.
And
Well,
big shout out to Edgar too, because we have to make sure that showing us love from LA. That's our guy, so we have to stop. It looks like Edgar. It looks like Jeremy might have something for you to show because Jeremy gets all the all the fun stuff. So I'm sure he has something.
no, we'll give Edgar
Uh oh.
we'll give him some proper love on the channel.
Uh oh.
Good.
There. Oh, there. You go. So now hide it. Go.
No, look, they're gonna win the spoon. Sorry, Edgar. They're gonna do us a solid, and they're probably gonna win the spoon. But they beat the crap out of SKC, so I'll give
Thank you.
them some love.
Yes. Yes. They. At least that was good. And Penn still did it in what in the first half, which is a very good look. But now the question now I think is where Oscar and I maybe have had that discussion before,
Mm-hmm.
where maybe that's where we need those characters that in the past 2 years that we've had that were saying they had bad attitude.
Oh, the Jared Stroud type guys.
Yes, and all the
The
others that kind of were released because they had something, a chip on
we
their shoulders.
the
Guess
S
what?
Housers,
I
the guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can tell you that if those were those moments, those guys would have stepped up and do it. But it looks like maybe they didn't have the quality of what we have now because we definitely have a better team quality wise compared to how we started. But there's one component that's missing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the grit and the I IWTF
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
attitude. But you see the other teams sort of do have it because they manhandled our team. But we all talk about Son and Buanga. But if you check the rest of the team, they knew their assignments and they achieved that assignment.
No, well, and
But we don't know their name.
but and how many times during the game did we see LA folks in, or not LA? Thinking about Edgar, the oh shoot, dang it! This is how bad it was. I'm already forgetting who we played.
FC,
did we?
LAFC.
Oh, it was
It just
LA.
LA.
Just yeah, the goal. Yeah, how many times do we see LA's guys in the ref's face after a call, looking for a card, looking for something? I mean, I'm trying to think. Even after that, after they got awarded that penalty kick, I don't even think I saw anybody with the passion to run up and say, "How are you calling a penalty?" Like, maybe eventually they did, but like we just kind of turned and said, whatever. Like,
Yeah, or not
Yeah,
even stand and not even stand
so
on the
they
penalty
did approach.
circle.
They did approach, but they go like not caring. And this is where I go from. We were middle of the season where we were already eliminated because let's be
yeah,
real, middle of the season we were already eliminated, but they were still had that fire of like, let's show that we have something going, like we can fix this, we can play better. Like there was some of that, but yesterday or 2 days ago, like it was just no, not at all. Like there was no show for anything, and we haven't even touched anything on the sporting side, in the tactics, in the performance. We talking about attitude.
mm-hmm.
That's the only thing we have talked for 17 minutes. Attitude. If you're gonna play like that, put me in. I go kick somebody.
I mean, hey, it can't get any
Like,
worse. It'd be a
seriously,
better.
give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. I legit go and tackle 3 people.
Yeah,
because I won that ball.
Yeah. Uh, so, so I think that's the point where I think just getting manhandled was not what
no,
I expected.
no. Like again, Mo. Like I said, I thought we would lose. Did I expect in the first half that they would have 4 high turnovers and a goal? That they would have, when you talk about like passes like right in front of the box in the half spaces, they would have had 50 passes right in front of our box compared to our 5 in the first half. I mean, hell, the just passes in the opposition half was 244 to 68 at halftime. Like I said, you see those stats, you think we're playing away. Then
No,
we
but
just
one
were. Go ahead.
yes, no, I won't have you finish because I think there is one big point where I guess not many have mentioned. I guess maybe one will talk about the goals, but
Yeah.
I have not seen many. I've not seen many discussion, even online, on that awful back pass to Bouanga's first goal.
Oh, from Vollum?
Yes, I don't know
Uh,
if maybe I'm missing it but I would have expected that to be even a bigger story, unless they were
well,
just because they were talking about someone
I
else.
think they're. I think most of the critics have been on Timo because I mean he was involved in basically like out of position or bad defending in all three. So I think like everybody's focusing on that end.
Yeah, but
Then that where they came from. No,
well,
I 100%
yeah.
agree with you, Mo. Like because we know the people that come to our show and us three, we know if this pass was done by any other 3 people that we know, then there will be
Well,
murder right now.
well
Like
I
there
mean,
will be
hell,
like
Falou was
massacre.
getting it.
I
Correct.
Falou
didn't.
was getting.
And
Falou
Really?
got
hey,
3. Go ahead.
this question: where's Orozco?
He's playing for City too.
Why? He got signed in the first team. He played three great games, and then he got deleted.
Don't know where. I mean, you say the same thing for Totland. Where's he at? I mean, but to your point, like, no, uh, no, we haven't seen Vollum getting criticized. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. He was straight up invisible. He didn't do anything. Like, So the
Well, when he was visible, that's why he did the back pass, and then after that he disappeared from there.
But the craziest thing to me is this, and I'm just going to mention this real quickly and see if I can get this to work. The guy that shut him down is a U22 player named Smolyakov. I don't know if it'll display there. It's kind of small, but he shut Vollum down. You can see, if you can make that any bigger, that defensive chart on the right-hand side. Look at where his touches are and how far advanced the zone that he was typically in covered. I mean, and then you can see on the left the offensive actions he's making, and it's right in Vollum's wheelhouse. This U22 player schooled somebody who supposedly has a transfer fee that would make him a designated player. That, I don't know, to me, if that makes Vollum more of a miss as a signing, because I know there's been a lot of talk online about, man, we should sign him if he can be a TAM player. He's really good. He's better than Totland, et cetera, et cetera. But he got shut down, and Critchley had no backup plan. But I just wanted to mention Smolyakov because he made team of the week on the bench, and he deserved it. His performance didn't show up on the goal sheet, but his press, you mentioned why did Vollum make the back pass? Smolyakov was in his face, and that's when he turned to make the pass. He had nowhere else to go with it.
So now that we're talking a little bit of tactics, so I want to I went and watched in positioning wise and what LA was doing, and it basically LA led the first zone to play free when it was either a goal kick or just coming out of the back, any possession like that City had. They let the first row play for free, keep the ball, no pressure, swing it around, no pressure. But the moment that ball got on the wide ends and trying to play forward, both of the wingers, their job was to press as hard as they could to create mistakes. And they did it all game. And we didn't even realize it after the first goal that we continue to do the same thing over and over again. So yes, to the point of Jeremy, where is Critchley at? We made a mistake on the first goal. Okay, it happened. Where is Critchley at? Fix something. Read the room. Read the game. They're pressuring you on the outsides. They're giving you spaces in between the lines on the midfield, inside, not outside. Why you continue to try to play on the wide?
Yep.
And is it because Orozco was out, or do you think it's probably because
do we play anything different than just playing wide?
Well, so we normally don't, but to your point, so here are your heat map or your average position maps, Oscar. You were just talking about it. Look at the average position of the wingers, the wing backs for LAFC. They are nearly in the offensive third. Smolyakov is the highest player on the pitch for LAFC. And what did that do? We normally build through the width, right? We normally say, okay, we go to Vollum, we go wide up to Sang-Bin. We go left through Padelford. He either takes it down the wing or he hits, in this case, it would have been McSorley or Celio, who, by the way, not to bury this, but I do think if you want one bright spot, Celio seemed to be somewhat effective when he came in. But my point is, look at what they did to us. Look at where all of our average positions are. How are you going to progress the field when you are you are so crowded in that middle circle? There's no width to this team. I mean, I don't know. Because we seemed so much to be determined early to try to pass through them in the middle, and we couldn't do it. So then we resorted to playing balls up to Klaus, and we couldn't win the second ball. Or if he did win the ball and held it, he had no one to go to because normally the outlet was or is someone running them off him. A week ago it was McSorley, or 2 weeks ago it was Sang-Bin. And none of them were in this one because everyone's in the middle trying to find ways to break the lines, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah, but but there was there was no sequence in any of those passes, though.
No,
I think that was the biggest. One of the things I was seeing is that you cannot even see we were, like I say in our chat, we were way too predictable in everything. We knew that if we were making two pass forwards, we most likely will be going back one, or if we make four forward, the fifth one will be back. Um, I don't know if it's part of the the tactics of the game, or but it seemed like to me that there was not much of a drive to want it to move forward. And Klaus should not be the only one that's trying to be the type of player we want, which is like aggressive and going nonstop um, for the whole 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the poor guy's he's over there screaming, kicking, and yelling. But if he's not receiving the ball, if the midfield is not helping him whatsoever, we're pretty much giving them what 20, 30 yards of doing whatever they want. And if you have
Yeah.
a world class beater, which yes, I understand that Song is like, now the superstar in the MLS and all that. But let's be honest, he was not able to do that in the EPL. He did great. He did great, but he was not giving 20 to 30 yards to run with the ball at his feet. He's doing things he's doing now at this moment that he did not do for Tottenham.
Well, because he has so much space.
Yeah, he did not do that. So it was like we made him look like almost even a higher world class beater.
Yeah.
Just because of poor
I
defense.
mean, it's not only us. I mean, it's the way the style of play that Son has, and the quality that he has, and the tempo and the pace that he has, is out of the reach of any defender in the MLS right now.
Yeah, because MLS is not built for defense.
No,
No.
no, it because the way that he moves, like he constantly moving, like you look at him, he's never stops in a spot.
No.
He moves around, he tries to drift, he tries to move away to not have a reference, and he understood that. I mean, this is where I go again with Jeremy's point of like, where's Critch? What's Critch doing it? Because he got outperformed, outcoached horrendously. Um, the other thing that I watch on the game is, and I just mentioned it on the comments, LA had a strategy because kind of knew that City was going to sit back a little bit when they were coming at us to not leave spaces behind because of the speed of Bouanga and speed of Son. But he figured out that, and he put his two guys or three guys that they're attacking away from the last line of defense. If you look at them, they were never next to the center backs. They were never referenced. They were right behind Lewin and Durkin playing on the blind spots, getting that space, and the moment that they find that behind space, that defender midfield line, they were forcing one of our center backs to step in 10, 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening behind them?
So they were timid as heck, too.
What happened? What happened if our center back steps in 15 yards to try to cover that? There's a space behind it, and guess what? You have your wingers, and that's why the left winger from LAFC had such a success, is because he was just having a blast going in that space.
Well, and I mean I'll give LAFC all the credit in the world. They pressed us effectively and they beat us in transition. I mean, the press is the reason why they got the first goal. The second goal they got, where Timo was backed off to the edge of the earth, basically, was a transition goal because they got us trying to push forward. If you look at that, when that ball comes free, goes forward to Son, it's him and Bouanga 2v2 against our center backs because Vollum is pushed up the field. The midfield, Leuven is up the field. Durkin is gone. Like you wouldn't have thought we were playing with two sixes because they were nowhere to be seen in that picture, and Son could just run for days. And
do we have sixes?
Huh?
Do we have a six?
Well, supposedly we play with them, but you never see them. But
But,
again, Critch Masterclass, everybody.
but and us, Edgar has it 110%. That's why we keep saying about all the available space. But that brings me to another thing, though.
Yeah.
So why is McSorley on the outside? Because he can play 6 or CDM if needed to be. Or there's a certain person that was added to the roster not long ago that is actually a signature CDM that could run for days.
I
Why give
no,
them a chance?
I won't even go that far. There's another guy who I actually put in my predicted starting 11 specifically to have him sit in that space, and his name is Alfredo Morales.
Yeah,
Why?
and that's
I would
another.
have started.
Yeah.
I would have started Alfredo over Durkin because just go back a month or two. How did we neutralize Hani Mukhtar? Alfredo Morales sitting deep in that space. This is not rocket science. Right? Am I crazy in thinking that this is a lot easier to kind of predict? Because and this is not meant to be a shout at Timo, but he's not your first choice center back alongside Falou. You know that you're down him. You know that Conrad, or even if it was Totland, are not defend first right backs. So going into this, it seems pretty obvious that you need a 6 to sit back and almost in a way operate as extra cover in that space. Because if you look at Sun's heat map and Bouanga heat map for the season, the spaces where we turn the ball over is where they stay. So I don't understand. We can see this. I'm not saying that we should be coaches, but guys, maybe we should be coaches.
So,
Hey,
got?
well, technically, there's 2 of us here that are coaches, but
Right.
no, not working.
Technology is letting Oscar down. Oh,
he's like,
Hold on.
Shoot.
okay, Oscar, now I can
Do
see it
not
better.
move. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
There we go.
So that's a pass back from Wallen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So why is he not
Look,
getting most? That's bad.
that's awful because you
Yeah.
have Timo way open.
Mm-hmm.
You leave it short, but also I think that our transition, our laziness on with the ball, like if you look there, Falu's walking, Durkin's walking, Lewin's walking, and we send the ball wide, knowing that there's pressure coming over there, with not support.
You know, I always tell our
There's
players. I always
there's
tell my
five
players if
there's 5 LAFC players closer to Wallem than our players, than our next player.
so kick the ball out so everybody can come back.
No, but we just had the ball because we just restarted and swing the ball.
Well,
So it
speaking
doesn't make sense
but-
that mistake was like a
Yeah.
kid making a mistake like that, not a professional player that apparently is going to be a DP.
No, he
Fun.
can't be.
Like
Well, I mean-
you can make that mistake like that, and also it's not just because of him made a bad pass. It's because the support is not there either. They were all walking. They were all 25 to 30 yards away from him.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that go ahead, Mo.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the other thing that I thought LA did really, really well. They really did a good job, I felt like, of catching us in our pressing moments. When we would try to press, they would see it. They would seemingly make 2 or 3 passes along the back line, get us all unbalanced, and then they would push forward on the opposite side and stretch us out. And then we were constantly, I felt like we were just, Critch even said it, we were chasing shadows for 89 minutes. I
think there was 110 minutes. So
yeah, probably.
But I think that's probably where the change of play then happens, where if you know you cannot beat them skill wise, then make it a
you gotta outwork
but a
them.
dirty,
Yeah.
like, every 50-50 is a battle. Make them chase the ball and complain to the ref, because technically St. Louis is supposed to be known as us being rough, and that the referee is getting ready to give us yellow cards as often as possible.
Yeah.
Season 1 was the case. Season 2 was like, but now the yellow cards that we're getting, it's not because it was a rough play. It's
Mhm.
here and there. So I think the whole welcome to hell slash, at City Park, that little or Energizer Park kind of completely died down because that
Yeah.
atmosphere of it, it's no longer a fortress, and teams can just be coming here comfortably. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with the atmosphere, obviously, it dies down a lot. But also, like as a team, if you come up and start like going up to the opposite side and start making hard tackles, they start making strong challenges, pumping up the crowd, like do like anything like meaningful, then you start feeling like the other team starts feeling that pressure. Even if you start losing, like it's fine. But if you start making those tackles or those challenges or getting on top of the faces of the other players or the referee or
Mhm.
whatever, like at least pump something up, you know? But this was like the mellowest
like,
game I've seen for players. Like they just don't. Again, I go back to like they didn't care. Um, I had another point. I think it was mentioned in the chat a lot. It was the passing. The passing. If you compare the passing of LAFC comparing to the City one, the big things from the City passes are very slow, out of pace, and soft. So that makes it what Mo said it before. It becomes predictable you play because the ball is not going fast. It's not getting to places quick enough. It's inviting pressure because you're forcing everything so slow and out of pace.
Mhm.
There's
Yep.
no connections in one touch. Every single pass from City is a 2 or 3 touch before they release the ball, and even more, 4 or 5 touches, 6 touches. Like if you Lewin gets the ball and he has to touch the ball like 6 times before he releases it,
Mhm.
even under pressure.
Well,
So that invites invites pressure to you, invites people to come to you quick and force you to commit errors, to make a bad pass, have bad transition. Adding to that, we don't have enough mobility to get those passes quicker to the
mhm.
places, and also to be able to do a one touch passes. Okay, so now compared to what LAFC does is very strong passes. Like sometimes they even overcook those passes and make the receiving player have a good touch, be prepared for those
Mhm.
heavy passes, but that ball moves quick. So if I send the ball to my left side in a quick ball, it takes the defender longer time to catch up than if I'm just rolling the ball to them. So that's less pressure for those. And also with the mobility that they have, how active they are, creating 1-2s and 1 touches, creating spaces so quick. That's how they were. What Jeremy said, they were getting people in one corner, inviting pressure, and getting 1-2 touches, right? Like 1-2 passes in one touch. They open space, switch it, and they were gone.
Mhm. Well, and I'll add to that. If you look, and I was kind of displayed it just a second ago, you look at our passing maps, whether it's from our center, our defensive line, or even in the midfield there, it's a lot of horizontal passes. It's not, we're not moving vertically. We don't have movement off the ball to break the lines. We aren't doing anything to threaten progressively. We're just playing it side to side, and that allows them to get back in their shape. I mean, it's terrible. It was there was one play or one bit of play. It was probably in the 30th minute or so when we finally got to attack right in front of the north end, and I am literally sitting there yelling in people's ears, "Move off the damn ball!" because all we were doing was standing still. I was yelling at people to run, and it is the most infuriating thing because what you'll see is somebody like Leuven will pass it to Durkin, Hartle will make a run, and then he'll stop. And then he'll move back to where he was. And it's just station to station. You don't break down a block with station to station running. That was one of the biggest differences. If you watched in the second half in the North End, and I know, Oscar, you're in the Capo stand, so you don't get to see a lot of it. But Son is moving all over the place. Bouanga moving constantly all over the place. What does that do? Pulling foul or pulling Pat Elford or Leuven or Durkin. It's creating those extra channels to pass through. It's again, this is like soccer 101. Like, I don't understand how, like, this team is supposed to be getting better. We'd won, and I know the teams we'd beaten were San Jose, they're whatever. Montreal is bad. Okay. But come come on. There's got to be something there, right? Like, you can play. I mean, God, Olaf tied this team. I know they didn't have Son, but Olaf played a back five, and we got a draw in LA. If you got to play a back five at home to get a result, okay, I'll take it at this point. But it's progress. It's flexibility. It's having a tactical plan, and Critch was nowhere near having that in this game.
Can I defend him for a little bit?
Okay.
Well, it's probably not that much of defense, but at this point, we've had how many coaches with the same set of players? Two, maybe two and a half
Maybe.
coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounds like almost the way I'm seeing the play now is that maybe any coaches at this moment with this core of starting 11,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think many of them are cut out then for this team because it if the new coach spark does not work, your sporting director is now gone. What else is left that can spark a push?
Okay.
Because I mean,
Okay. All right. I'm gonna make a case here. Sorry, Mo, to cut you off. So I
no,
just mentioned we got a draw in LA. Okay. I'm going to throw out some names of the guys that were in our back five in that draw because I'm going to tell you right now the back four and even probably the guy that was on the bench for this game in Hebert, you could have thrown into a back five. Hell, you could have played Durkin in a back five and probably been just as good or arguably better than the back five we played when we got the draw. So here we go, boys. We got the draw against LAFC in LA. The back five for that game from right to left were Kyle Hebert at right back, Josh Yarrow at the right center back, Baumgartel in the middle, Giannis Horn at left center back, and Conrad Vollum as the left back in that game. So I struggle to understand when we're talking about, well, I get there's a talent gap, but if you can, and I understand they didn't have Son, so it's a slightly different, okay, very different. Okay, Son's on another planet in the MLS. I'll give it that. But if you can go to LA and get a draw with a back line of that includes Hebert, Yarrow, Baumgartel, and Vollum, I don't know why you can't tactically set up with a healthier squad at home and do something similar. That's where I lose faith in Critch.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of people that saying that those names that you've named should not even be on the MLS roster.
I mean, that's a conversation.
That's what other folks are saying.
No, yeah, yes.
Yeah,
well, I mean, and some of them haven't been for weeks.
But that's the part where the fun part of those names that you've mentioned is that part of the game plan to have these guys was that Hebert was more of the safe defensive player that will stay home, and that Yarrow had a lot more speed that he could keep up with Bouanga.
Yeah.
And Horn was like more of the muscles. And I think who was left? You mentioned
Vollum, Horn, Baumgartel, Yarrow, Hebert.
Yeah. So one was just kind of the safety blanket to kind of try to move forward.
Yep.
But what they have mentioned is that if you just look at it now, who else speed wise can shut down Bouanga that was in starting 11 or on the bench, because those that you've named, one of them was not even in the roster for the
Well,
game itself.
right, but if you're keeping him as best as you can stuck in 2v1 battles, speed can be neutralized.
How?
You mark him effectively. You essentially try to mark if he comes in your zone. I hate to say it, zonal marking, but that's what they do on corners. So
Yeah, but
to an extent, go ahead.
yeah, but if you watch, Timo couldn't even turn properly
What?
to cover Bouanga.
Timo was afraid of his own shadow.
Yeah, and then Wallen was non-existent. It's not fast enough,
No, he's not a defender.
No,
and
I think so. The way that, like, I mean, what Jeremy is trying to do is kind of like what the game plan was, because they knew they were not gonna outspeed Bonga, so they were not giving him space behind it, right? But at the same time, like what I mentioned, that
Mhm.
Boanga and Son play as a false nines, never get in reference by the last defenders, force them to step up into places that they couldn't do, and leave in spaces behind for the extra player that it was running in space. That it was like Palencia or one of their center mids or the other left wing, because their movement was forcing them to do that. So hey, that was the plan B for LAFC if they didn't give space behind for the
Mhm.
runs.
And
It's
that's when you
it's
have
not
your
that.
CDM help
Well,
out.
that's why you have good players and what that you have good plans, and also, in the other hand, like you're mentioning, like the other game we had, if I don't remember, if I remember correctly, it's not that we play an amazing game against LAFC at LA. It was all them, but we found 2 goals and we went ahead, and then we made a horrible mistake in the last minute of the game, and Boanga tied it. So it's not like
Um,
we have improved whatsoever. It's more like
Contain
we're
the massacre.
we retain our level maybe, and it just, I mean, LAFC is another monster right now.
Yeah, yeah,
right, but
they're untouched. But I think that's when
When
you
we
game
played them
plan
over
comes.
there, they were not great.
Yeah, they
If I
were.
if I remember correctly, this what I remember talking on the show. I say, if one day we're gonna beat them, this is the time to beat them over there,
yeah.
because they
So
were not doing so good in that moment. And even with that, they outplay us, but we also almost beat them.
so it was so they were 4-2-4 when we played them. And statistically, yeah, Oscar, you're right. They outshot us 22-11. The XG was heavily in their favor. It was a game that had Cedric Toykert opening the scoring. Then they Boanga tied it in the 70th minute. Morales got sent off in the 83rd for a second yellow. We took a lead in the 89th minute through a Nathan Ordaz own goal, and then Boanga tied it late in stoppage time, 90+5 from there.
On the
So
PK, right?
yeah,
Or on
I don't think it was a PK.
no, that was
Um,
a counter. That was a
yeah,
counter.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, but to your point, like, I guess that's my point though. Is like you can still, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe look, maybe I've played too much EAFC, guys. Maybe I'm just thinking you set up to counter what you know you're going to face, and I just feel like we could have set up, especially when Critchley was talking during the week about having a couple of things up his sleeves tactics wise. I would really love to know what they were, because if we
I
saw
mean,
him, God help us.
he came up with the same information that last game, so I don't think
Right.
there was any to up the sleeves.
No. So I don't know, guys. I'm just that's my frustration with Critch. And again, I
So
like the guy. Go ahead.
let's get into this too, because I mean, we didn't really touch the lineup.
Nope.
Do you think the lineup is a good lineup to face LAFC? Because I don't think so. And
People were
one, and
celebrating about the lineup.
I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but
Uh oh.
I would, with Max Orley having the greatest game last game, I don't think he was the right piece to face LAFC
Who's
as
that?
a starter. Max Orley.
Like, I think they. I,
Because
I think
because
the big.
they
Oh, go ahead.
conflict too much with Klaus in this game, trying to find those spaces behind, if you look at the map that Jeremy showed us, they were almost on top of each other because they were trying to like feed of each other too much, not expanding the game. And also, you took Hartel again out of his natural position. You didn't give Hartel the natural position, the space that he needs to be. Um, I would it it's probably very tough for a coach saying, "Hey, you had the best game ever. You have your first star, and you made an amazing game, and then the next game you're like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to put you in." But if you were a good coach, you probably say like, "Hey, understand that this is not the right fit for this type of play and how they play," because I just don't think like he was fit. If he will fit on the formation, you had to take Klaus out, in my opinion.
So
And
you
I
are.
would
Go ahead.
well, I'm arguing that we needed Son being on the right and Hartel on the left. That was what we were
Okay.
playing before we brought up McSorley, and
Mhm.
that in somehow we were having success building into those spaces. And
Yeah.
my other one that I'm still don't understand is why Ostrak has been erased from the face of the earth, where, if I remember correctly as well, he was playing a key part in the midfield when we played Nashville. That it was Morales, Lewin, and
Mhm.
Ostrak. And we were having the best offensive plays, and the best way to retain the ball was between those three.
Mhm.
You're facing a very similar team. Why don't you put a similar formation, like a similar quality players in that end? Like, no offense to McSorley. McSorley is a goal scorer, in my opinion. I don't think he's a player that you're gonna give him the ball and he's gonna take four people out and then score.
Yep.
No, I think he's gonna find a space like he did in San Jose, find the right space in the right time and score goals.
He's
But
a
this was
poacher.
not for that.
He's a poacher. He's not going to create a lot of on his own, right? He's not going to take and beat 3 or 4 guys. At least, probably not in the MLS. At least, I don't see that. So to your point, Oscar, like in my mind, if you're going to set up this game, why not do kind of like a 4-1-4-1? If you want to play with a back four and have your fullbacks continue to play advanced, play a 4-1-4-1. Let put in my mind, if I still don't think it's Durkin, I still say Morales. Let him act kind of as that DM in front of the back line who can drop back into it if he needs to. You have 4 players in the midfield, so you could play your wide guys, whether it's Celio and Sangbin on the right and left, put Hartle out left. You could plug Ostrak in beside Leuven in the middle and Klaus up top, and everybody moves. Or you put McSorley underneath us alongside Leuven. Because to me, or you could play a 4-4-1-1 and put McSorley right under Klaus like you would Toykert. Like those, that's where I think McSorley belongs. He's got athleticism, so you can throw him out left on the side. But in this game, everybody just disappeared.
I think I wanted
Yeah.
him in the middle because he has the engine. He's young enough,
Mm-hmm.
and he will go back and probably have those duels. Maybe Morales and to it. Those there's 3 of guys that we know probably are scrappy enough to stay in the middle and maybe battle a little bit. So if the see Son making that 20-yard run, maybe they will try to come and recover. But it looks like it was just non-existent. I don't have much hair on top of here, but that's what was kind of driving me nuts was that just seeing them going forward without being bothered and running that much time. If someone is like Son or Bouanga, you give him that 5-10 second look.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder they're going to bury it on the corners. And
Yeah.
I think those goals looked way too easy. Maybe they made him look easy, but
Well, the
they
third
they
goal,
was
he just
way
passed
they
it.
were too relaxed, right? you could see him. He picked his corner. He knew he was going in even before he left his foot.
Yeah.
And I yes, it looks like it was a LAFC home game on the field, but also in the stands.
So I'll say this: I do think it was really neat to see. I know it was Hispanic Heritage Night, but I do think it was cool to see, some of the Korean influence and see the representation
Oh,
of,
they representing big time.
that. Yeah, I mean, I had a really nice conversation with a whole group of South Korean folks that were decked out in South Korean gear in the supporter section behind me in 120, and then they were some really nice people. But yeah, it was they were so proud to be there and to see two guys from their home country performing on the same field in America. It was, and I know MLS isn't the Premier League, right? But it's still something that they had a lot of pride in, and that was cool to see.
I mean, you have
Yeah,
to know that
except
Son is the biggest athlete in their country.
Yeah,
but
So
we have. I don't know if we're gonna talk about this then, but if you have St. Louis gear on
oh
and you have the opponent team, even if they're your countryman or countrywoman or something,
yeah.
and you're decked out in St. Louis gear, and every goals you celebrate, it's a little suspect. But listen too. I know I might sound like a hater, but I've Hugo Lloris is my almost greatest of all time goalkeeper for France. I wanted him to have the worst game of his life.
I mean, he did.
Well, he got injured, but right. So you know what I meant, right? I knew there was. So on yes,
Yeah.
the Korean, yes, they were awesome on this. It's just the other side of things where you're in city
Yeah.
gear and then
Like if
they score and you celebrate like they scored. I'm like, ouch.
so, yeah. So you still, I mean, if it's your team, if St. Louis is your team, like you can't really celebrate. I'll tell you, like when we went to Miami last year, um, we played under Miami, and the goal that Messi scored on us, that it was an amazing goal too. Like it's one of those Messi goals. Obviously, we're not celebrating. We're like, damn. But at the
Yeah,
same time, I was like, that was good. Like that was
yeah,
good. Like it's
yeah. But
just
you
like
you want
that
to
was
understand,
good.
like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
high
No,
fiving.
no, never, never.
No.
But that was cool.
Even like if it was James, with all my love to James, I would have say bad things to him in Spanish.
Hey,
Just because he scored against us.
like I said,
Like he
you
just
like
right,
you're Lord. I say I wanted him to have the worst game of his life, even though he's in my you know greatest of all time goalkeepers for France. But
right. So
maybe
yeah,
that was
see,
on my soapbox. I'll probably get off of that one. But if you're in city gear, I think I had the
so
problem. That's the only problem I
no.
had is
So
that.
so here here's what.
if I would have seen it, I probably would have yelled at them.
Look, the one thing here's the one thing I will say. When he got his second goal, I was aggravated that he scored, especially as easy as it was, because it looked like he
Oh,
just
I was
passed
mad.
it into the net. Berkey just
Mhm.
stood there, so I wasn't happy about it. But at that point, with the way the game had gone, I had accepted the game was over. I didn't celebrate the goal. I'm not, but I will not lie to you. When he did his trademark this right towards us in the supporters section, I fanboyed a little bit because I do like Son Heung-Min. Okay, I won't
Really,
lie.
as a
I had,
as a
huh?
Manchester United fan,
Oh, I still respect the guy. Okay, he doesn't. You know what? Screw it.
uh,
He doesn't play for no. He doesn't play for City or Chelsea. I don't have a problem with Spurs. Okay, it's not City or Chelsea. I don't have a problem with that side of London.
Because they haven't won much trophies. Is that the thing?
Well, but they beat them in the Europe.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the Europa League from last year. That's in the past. I forgot and moved on. I'm already depressed about losing to Grimsby. Okay, they're no Grimsby town. But no,
Oh,
no, I know no. I respect players of that caliber, and I was really hoping that at some point I'd get to see that in person, and I've got a picture of it, and so that was a cool thing just to chuck it up to the bucket list of things that I've seen as a football fan.
we're just giving you trouble.
No, I know. I don't care. I mean,
Jeremy was fanboying over there.
it's a year of misery for me. City's trash and United is bad. It's too early to say what Dortmund will be.
Let's be honest. Manchester United is trash too. Don't say it's not good.
They're bad. They're trash. They need to fight. It's Amram out. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
No.
Hey, I mean,
Sorry to tell you, but I think the half owner, what's his name?
Ratcliffe.
Yeah, shows support to him and says they want to give him the full season. So, Jeremy, my apologies, but you haven't had the 30 plus games.
I'm just gonna put my LA hat on now.
Wow.
It was part of the package I got from Oscar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
He really won that wooden spoon to say he won hardware this year.
You know what, Mo? Like, I think when City scores 3 goals, technically, supporting section, like people take their shirts off.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy took his shirt off on the third goal of LAFC.
No, I can confirm. I will not expose the world to that grossness.
Oh, boy.
There's too many
the
rules
fanboy
here.
in him. It was like, yeah, woo! And he started going.
Man, if I would have seen that, I'd take a picture of it, Jeremy.
No, but I mean, I was
Really
showing
bad.
the screen a little bit of like the formation I would play with Nashville, and it was exactly what I was like trying to picture for this game. Just having, I don't know what's the deal with Ostrak. I mean, that's one of the things that with this club I don't understand. There's not very, I don't know. There's no clarity. There's no transparency of what's happening with players, because out of the sudden one player is playing great season in the next game, and then for a month you don't see him. You don't see him play. You don't see any minutes, and it's not one or two cases. There's many cases on what's happening with these players. Like what's going on. Like I can mention from right now that I mean a lot of people are gonna say like, oh well, these ones shouldn't be, but like Jaro hasn't seen minutes in such a long time. Watts hasn't seen minutes in such a long time. Totland was like out for a long time until now. Then what else we got? Orozco now is marginalized. Hasn't seen minutes in a month. I already mentioned Totland. Which one I'm missing, Mo? I know I'm missing one. Hebert was kind of like here and there. Like he finally played a game last.
And he did great. He did good.
He did great. Reed, Jaden Reed.
Not even rostered.
Yeah, he's playing. He's starting at City too now. I don't.
So
There's
I mean,
so
I
many-
understand that if they don't play on one, they go and have some minutes over there. But
Yeah.
but they're part of our roster, right? Because they're part of the first team.
Right. Well, they are, but I mean that goes
Jaden
back
Reed
to
is, Orozco is, because they signed him for a reason,
Yeah.
and now you don't have him around. Watts the same thing, Jaro the
Not
same
rostered.
thing.
Mhm.
It's like, and what they're telling us, are they telling anything? Like, is there a reason why Ostrik's not playing?
That one I don't know.
What's the reason?
So he's never been listed with an injury, so there's no injury designation. I think the only thing you can mention or that can be speculated, and this is just me taking what Critch has said, is either he's not training well or he hasn't performed well enough to meet his standards. Because what Critch has said is the way you get in the starting 11 is by training well and performing well, and then they evaluate based on tactics. And so either he's not meeting the tactical setup, or he's not training well. Those are the only two things, if you believe what Critch says about what goes into his selection for the XI.
I would think the first
I
one
don't believe
alone.
anything that he says anymore.
And so here, just for sake of conversation, fellas,
I
if
can
it'll
only see the
share.
I can only see the first option. Training hard
Uh,
at it. It's hard for me to.
yeah. So you're asking about players. Here's your roster profile. So you get 20 spots on match day. You have up to 30 players on the senior and supplemental roster. So of the guys that we've just talked about, Zelensky, he's on loan to Indy 11. Yarrow hasn't been seen outside of City 2 in months. Winsel, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't even know where he is.
Akil Watson, Reed are City 2 guys. Perez is a homegrown playing for City 2. Oliveras is City 2. Luntz on the bench, and Glover hasn't even seen minutes as a reserve. So, and Joyner, so this can't be, I don't think that this is inaccurate because Joyner's on the first team contract, and I don't know. That's interesting that this is what MLS just released. But anyway, I digress. This is from spring. Let me check fall. I need to find the fall roster profile. But anyway, my point is like it's a combination of things. Did we like we've talked about this a bunch with the roster build this team has faced, and I don't know what the solution is because we're going to have a ton of turnover. Here we go. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit.
Allah.
There we go. So here we go. So yeah, so Joyner and McSorley are on the supplemental. Here's Orozco, Padelford starting, Watts, Reed, Zielinski all on loan. So I mean, I don't know. And there's Antwi up here under. But I mean, if you're trying to start your best 11 or field your best 20 on match day, I mean, who are you selecting now? I mean, Ostrak's been a sub, so it's not like he hasn't been available to come in. He just isn't the choice. And
But he
could he have
didn't
been?
play in the last three.
No, he hasn't. And that actually raises a good question about him because he is a TAM player. He's making like $800,000 in guaranteed compensation. He isn't a cheap signing, so you would think we'd find a way especially if plan A doesn't work or you're looking for a guy to change a game. And I do think in a way, if and so kind of talking to subs a little bit, one of the things that made Celio so effective is he wasn't afraid to take on players against LA. He was the only player. I wrote this down when I was looking at the stats earlier. Celio was the only player with multiple dribbles completed. So he had 2 successful dribbles in the game. Nobody else for City had more than 1. So to me, if you want to play this game, if you can't pass through them, you need technically gifted guys who can play through and play around and can be good on the ball. Ostrak has proven to be that, right? Was he not against Nashville? So I don't understand why if you're going to make subs, why was he not an option?
And you remember when I think it was Nashville and then Chicago we lost and Vancouver we lost, but I remember in one of those conferences, uh, the press conference that Critch said, "Oh, we love Ostrich because the way that he can dribble and get himself out of pressure in tight spaces is something that we love and we use a lot as a quality." And then he's gone. So this is where I'm go from that I don't like to believe what our team is saying to the media and to us basically. Because they say one thing, they do another one. I remember when they praised Orozco and then gone.
So actually, the last time we heard about Ostrak was Tom Timmerman reported it from the Post Dispatch a little over a week ago, where Critchley and Ostrak had walked basically almost 2 full laps around the training facility when Ostrak questioned why he hadn't been selected or appearing in games. I'm not saying, and I'm going to make sure I'm abundantly clear. I'm not out here to speculate and say that Ostrak's a problem in the locker room or that he's got a bad attitude or any of those things, because that's been a whole other thing on X today when it talks to about Seth Antwi. But I just wonder if I don't want to say there's been a falling out, but it's just there's got to be frustration on both sides. It seems like.
But if there's any frustration, he's totally right. If he's
Mm-hmm.
putting in the work and has been praised for so long about
Mm-hmm.
his type of play and the never stop running, because that's how you create more opportunities, is that. But if you have a player that actually wants to see the ball moving, but our tactic says two dribble and then look back again, you're taking the skills of a player and completely erase it because the ball is not moving forward or moving fast enough. The other part is I don't think we're built for dribblers as much,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it looks like anyone that's had some type of dribbling capabilities, we find them on the outside. But then if you like the graph you showed us, most of the things is happening in the midfield and not on the
Mm-hmm.
flanks. So you're pretty much taking those two guys left and right out the picture altogether.
So
Bless you.
no,
Thanks.
so just real quickly, looking at players who have played over 500 minutes for City this season, and you talk about successful take-ons, so taking on a player, the two most successful players at take-on percentages, Tomasz Ostrak, Celio Pompeu, both at just over
Not shocked.
54%. No, but my point is, we're talking if you can't play around them, I feel like you need to have technically skilled guys who can play with the ball at their feet, and those two seem to be. Even though I know they don't, especially with Celio, the frustration is he doesn't yield any end product from any of that. But they take on guys which can open up games in a different way.
I mean, they can create something. So, yeah, I mean, Cellular has had a very rough season of
Mm-hmm.
where he hasn't been a key part of the team. He
Mm-hmm.
hasn't have a main stage performance or anything like that. We know he has qualities. We know he can take one on ones, but then the issue is what he does after taking the one on ones and getting
Yes.
that space that he's not creating. I we had like I remember where, but there was someone who was like, "Oh, we love Celia." It was like, "Yeah, I love Celia too," but he's not producing.
Mm-hmm.
He can do all the flair he wants. He can take on one situations, but then you at the end of the day take that defender off, and then you made a bad pass, you didn't do anything.
Yeah. Also, go ahead, Mo, and then I have one other stat to talk about. Go ahead.
Well, I understand that part. I think for me, when I see guys that kind of dribble or like have the dribble capabilities, what typically their gameplay works is if someone else will then go and overlap those skills so that you actually attract multiple players. So there's an overlap either on the left or on the right
Mm-hmm.
that can then open the play. But
Yeah.
like we talked earlier, he can do all of the dribbling and have attract three players. If everybody else is walking or everybody's
There's no option.
on the other side of town, your dribbling is worthless because you've attracted three players. Now you're stuck in a corner, and the
Mm-hmm.
midfield is open, and you have nowhere to pass it.
Yeah.
That's why the Neymar and all that, when they dribble and create those opportunities, is because they attract players.
Mm-hmm.
Messi, that's why he attracts players. All of the big dribblers, they attract players, and
Mm-hmm.
then someone else opens up so they can do a 1-2 or whatever. But Celio can dribble all the way to the flag, corner flag. If no one shows up, yes, he can dribble, but he's not a world beater,
Mm-hmm.
right? He will maybe
Yeah.
beat one player, maybe two at the most, but then that's it.
Yeah.
There's no one making the run for him.
Well, right, and like I still only go back to guys moving off the ball and getting into position for things like that, and the most memorable moment of that was the Leuven goal in Vancouver where he ran into the box, I think it was, and got on the end of a cross where he just ran into space. Like we don't move off the ball. Ostrak for all of the lack of minutes lately, he's still in like the top 5 players for City this season with more than 500 minutes in progressive carries. He only has 8 progressive carries less than Edu Leuven, and he's been one of the best ball movers progressively for City. The only guys above him that have played more than 500 minutes are Celio, Hartle, Conrad Vollum, Edu Leuven. I guess Akil Watts technically, but he hasn't played in months. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see the impact that Ostrak has had when it comes to how many carries and how good he was at helping us move the ball. And you wonder it to Oscar's point. You just wonder maybe what could have been, or is he the guy that you need to time when plan A isn't working? Is he the guy that you can use to change the game?
So, I mean, we were losing 3-0, right, or 2-0, whatever, and our subs went to the same. They were like just specifically going for the same type of motions. Um, I know a lot of people say, "Hey, we need Joyner to have minutes," and so that now Joyner is an automatic substitution, right? We've seen it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad about it. It's good that he gets minutes, but now we know that that's an automatic substitution. That's pretty much the first sub is gonna be Joyner going from somewhere. Um, we got Morales for Durkin. I think that was a good
That was it.
sub, but I think it just. I mean, it's late in the game already. Where you're down. You still want to have a solid midfield, sure, but I think you need something more. So I think that sub should be Ostrak. You're already down. You need someone that can carry the ball up and can move and create options. And Morales is not. so, so you see
No.
my point there. And then you get. I mean, Totland was in there, and Celia comes in as well. So like you wingers, you change your wingers. Um, and then you get Hebert in
Right,
because
because Fall took a knock.
Fall got hurt. But I would in that moment, and call me crazy, but you have a Ray Morales in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put Morales in center back. Put Ostrak in.
Yeah. I,
Hmm.
I,
Any CDM knows how to play center back. It's not like the natural position, but any CDM knows how to play center back. You're losing at home. You're getting
yeah,
your ass whipped.
you're right. I think my frustration with the subs, I don't understand why he didn't make the changes coming out of the break. Like, why not just change at the half? Like, what you did for 45 minutes, nowhere near doing anything effective. It didn't work. I don't understand why we waited 15 minutes into the second half almost to make substitutions that could have been made at halftime. And then what? 8 minutes
I don't
later,
think
we
he
changed
had
the
a
wingers.
plan.
No.
I don't think he had a plan because just changing the wingers doesn't give you anything. Just putting piece to piece, doing the same type of
Mm-hmm.
play.
Yeah.
When your wingers are not even getting the ball wide because they were not receiving the ball wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what that is. That was interestingly. I think Critch said that was the one positive thing he thought he could take from the game was the effort the subs came in and tried to have and tried to change the game. But yeah, I I was to an extent happy that Critch was critical of the team after this game, that he was honest and didn't really sugarcoat a lot of it, saying that we need guys that can be more brave out there. We need to not play scared. I was happy to hear that, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's lip service in a miserable season. So I just
I
I
think
don't
he,
know.
I think his tactics were scared,
Oh, they were terrible.
and everything started from him.
Yeah, none of
I
it makes
mean,
sense.
are you gonna say like your tactics are good when you get one shot on goal and it was in the 90 something minute?
Yeah, I mean, what did I get? So they had what, 8? They were credited with 8 total shots. None of the shots in XG were rated anything above average. There was one that in post shot expected goals, the very first shot of the game from Sang Bin was rated as the great chance based on the where the ball was and that it took a deflection. But I mean, that isn't going to be enough. I mean, LAFC had 4 shots that were higher than what is it, 0.14 xg or something like that. I think it is. What is the threshold for good chances? It's 0.15. So at least 0.15 xg, and 3 of those 4 shots were goals. The 2 from Son had post shot expected goals over 0.3, so they were over 30% likely to be in the goal, and Bouanga's was somewhere around 30% chance of being a goal. So I mean, we just didn't produce anything of quality, no quality, no quantity.
And no attitude.
We just want to say, Soccer USA said to bring Tim Parker. I just watched how he got cooked not long ago for New York.
Look
It,
here,
Hey, now that we're talking about that,
oh, I felt
Tim
bad.
Parker's here.
hey, I was waiting for the right moment for this. So, like, this is like off everything, of city, off related, but also like saying a little bit of what people sometimes say, like, oh, our supporters sometimes complain, our supporters sometimes yell at the players, and they're offensive to the players. And so let me share this
Oh boy.
fun. I don't know if it's gonna
Uh-oh.
make a sound or not, but
Oh,
this
is this the Red
happened.
Bulls guy?
Yes,
Hmm?
Yeah, I saw
What?
that. Yeah, this was bad.
there was an altercation between a player of the Red Bulls and
Oh, I think I'm. Oh,
so let me know if you see it. Let's see what kind of.
so where's security on that?
They're right there.
They're right there.
So after the fact, when guys was saying back up, that's all he had to say.
So he's basically like the supporter guy, like the one who works for a team, but he's not really security.
Oh, okay.
And there
Mhm.
was like after that there was a couple like two more that they kind of like were security start kind of like moving the people back. Um, but I mean I'm just showing this for an example. Like I'm not saying we need to get to that point.
Mhm.
Like I'm not saying that,
And
but like see how these people that they are not my phone blocked, but they are, if I believe they're 10 in their East Conference, and they're 5 points away from the playoff. How these people are reacting, how their supporters are demanding for more, how they're like engaged, like, hey, you guys are
Mhm.
awful. And I actually like caught it early, and they start saying, um, the reason we are S, the reason we're S is because of you. The reason we're S is because of you.
That's the
Like
British
straight
way.
up, it's straight up
yeah.
to the guy there, to the player. So one,
I thought that was another reason why there was that argument. Wasn't it because he said he was racially abused or something? Or
Yeah.
well, I
that's
mean,
a different
it
one.
could be, it could come from there, and obviously, if it comes from it, obviously, like no way, there's no reason for it. Like that's
Yeah,
a zero tolerance.
I think
But
that was the
also, like,
story.
but he was, I mean, because there was a reason why he like, what's your name? What's your name? I'm like, I mean, the player, why are you asking a fan what's your name? Like,
Yeah, I think it was.
doesn't
I think
doesn't
I saw
really
the
like.
story. I'm not. Maybe that. I think that's probably that story because I heard it in the grapevine because I was doing other things. But I thought it was because I think the
Yeah.
supporter group then posted something about it. But I think
Well,
Soccer USA has the perfect thing that was not shown, where it says it's worrisome that his own teammate didn't come to defend him.
mhm.
Even though I saw him towards the end, but that was like 95% of the video was already over
Yeah.
until we saw New York Red Bull guys. Yeah,
Well, the only one was the goalkeeper that since the beginning he was trying to keep him
diffuse.
Mhm.
like control go
Yeah,
from going there.
yeah,
I mean, first of all, like obviously I don't know the context. I don't know if something was said
yeah,
wrongly to that extent. So if it was, obviously I'm not excusing whatsoever. Like these supporters are saying that, um, but also as a player, like I know he's gets into that bad move. We've seen it multiple times in different stages, but don't engage that way.
no, yeah. You
Like
should not.
No.
don't engage that
I
way because you're just creating a bigger mess.
mhm. Um
If it was offensive, the best thing that he could have said is just like, "Hey, tell the security guys like that guy said something like make sure like he doesn't come back to this stadium." Like it
Yeah,
just like he like something
mhm.
like that. But just don't. And and just
that's,
what Soccer USA is saying, the rest of the team, where are you?
Mhm.
Where
Well,
are you? Like all of them should be like there and himself just saying like, hey, let's calm down, like let's stop. And if it comes to the point like where we've seen it in another stages that supporters had words with the captains and the coach and it's like, hey, listen to us what we're doing. That's okay as long as you're like keeping it respectful, but you're saying
mhm.
you're demanding for better results, better anything, that's fine if they're gonna allow to it.
Yeah.
Clearly,
And
hopefully that will
where
be a
do you
culture
station you?
change. I think hopefully that will be a culture change to what maybe American soccer fans are used to because from what I'm seeing here, right, that's almost the captains, the
mhm.
multiple captains that they have in a team. When you sort of hear that displeasure, that's when your job as a captain
Yeah.
is. Or if maybe supporters groups don't have as much leeway as maybe what we're used to on the other side of the world, where when there's a displeasure shown by the supporter groups that the one that have kind of a tie to the club, there's those discussions that kind of happens, and then that's when you have the team captain and the coach go to those supporter groups outside of the cameras, outside of everything, and it's like we hear you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to deaf ears, and that's usually how a lot of these things get
Yeah.
diffused afterward. Because that
Well,
I like the part when they say, we're shit because of you. That's a British and the rest of the world has done that before. That's a funny
Right.
chant. You
I
your
mean,
your opponent makes fun of you, and you said, "Guess what? You just beat us. It's just because we suck." Like that.
yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
the thing that would be troubling for me, there's two things. So, just kind of since we're talking about this game, so it was the Hudson River Derby, New York City FC against
Ooh.
New York Red Bull. So, tensions are obviously higher for that. That doesn't condone or make that
Yep.
any of the things allowable, but I just want to make sure that if we're talking about the game and what happened after it, so there's that, and I think Oscar, your point just adds fuel to that because essentially you're right. They're exactly 5 points out with 2 games to play, trying to chase down Chicago Fire for that ninth and final spot in the East. So, again, doesn't make it appropriate, doesn't make it right, but yeah, it's interesting or hard to hear that. And then it's the more troubling thing though is this is the second time in 2 months that Red Bull fans have had to talk to a player. In August, I just looked it up because I thought I recall talking about this before with you guys. Emil Forsberg went and had to talk to the fans almost exactly a month ago, after they had kind of a losing streak, and literally sat there and talked to the supporter groups. And that was seemed to be a much more respectful tone, at least because it was a normal conversation. But is that it's I don't know. Maybe that's the question is we haven't seemed to have that, whether it's a Berkey or a Leuven or a Hartle. We haven't had that at any point this season. I don't think I've had or seen any of them come to the supporter section to talk to anybody. Have I missed anything? Because it seems like, or is that supposed to be a norm? Like, should we have an expectation that like they're going to like there's going to be that communication?
Now,
It's
so the issue, the way that I see it is more that the pressure has to come from the supporters, and I believe, and I don't know much about the Red Bull supporters, but I mean they have a group that they has been a group for a while, and I believe it's only one group now, like how normally supporters group work. Um, so that's kind of like a little bit of my point in our end is like, hey, we have great supporter groups. Like we all love our supporter groups and all our supporter section, right? But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to enforce a little bit of, hey, like we're shit because
Mm-hmm.
we're literally shit. And if you see, we still have people at the end of the 90 plus 11 minutes when they come around that you're clapping at these players.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I respect you. You have your free choice to do whatever you want. But if we want a good team and we want to demand good results, you cannot be when they're walking around. You can't. You can't. You guys, I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many things that you just or walk away or just like look at them, but just we have spent an hour and 30 minutes saying how awful the game was,
Yep.
how awful the performance was, and still there's people that are like, yeah, yeah, good job, and I'm like, come and sign my shirt, come and sign, like in the supporters group. I get it around the stadium, I get it, and the supporters group, you should be pissed. You just spent 90 plus 11 minutes losing your voice, clapping and doing for what? For to clap him and get a signature at the end of the game when they have a terrible performance, and they have had a terrible performance for the entire year. That has to come from us. And also,
Yeah.
our captains are terrible because they have never faced us and they never have come and say whatsoever anything to the fans.
Only
The
player I
two
can
main
remember doing
guys,
that is Celio.
the two main guys of our club they walk around like, oh yeah, it was fine, and we're laughing, or we don't care about anything, and we just walk away. Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I don't know how captains are being decided now versus how it started. If you look the formation of the captains, it's totally different than what how we started. Berkey, yes, he was the de facto um, captain, but it was not a choice by all the players. I think was it White Hartel was also a captain, but
Vice captain, yeah.
that was like de facto. So we don't really know how those roles was given because what we knew with Carnell, we knew how those it was all votes and you know, but there's not much of the face of the current players that you could see anywhere out there. It's you see them at the soccer game, and then the outreach is almost non-existent, except a handful of players that I can actually say I've
Mm-hmm.
seen participating in non-club related activities.
Okay. No,
That's
I yeah.
and we know
No,
Celio
I'm.
and Orozco and all that they've done that outreach. Because the first few seasons, so you see, you can tell who you can see more out there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not really the face per se. What like somebody mentioned Tim Parker, right? Even though he had his his fun thing when he was putting on Twitter and all that, and people were able to react to that, or sometimes you see him kind of respond to here and there. I think that's what maybe that connection that's missing to where Oscar you most likely won't see them come to the supporter section and
Oh
maybe have
no.
it talk. And we know you guys like we know the sort of the guys that are put in position to kind of represent the supporter groups. We know who you guys are, right? We can point and see who is safe enough to go and talk to have a pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
But
You
that's
know, the
not
thing that it
happening.
shocks me a little bit is that to this point, I think the only thing that was talked as a supporter groups in some point was when it was Olaf is still in charge, and it was like to the verge. Let's say if Olaf doesn't get fired, like it was gonna be like, oh, they might send a letter or something. And like, how long we have to wait for like getting our voices out there? And we were, I guess, we got pleased by getting Olaf fired, and then like nothing else was like needed. But still, the results never came. Like we still like third to last uh, in our standings and like not performing well or anything. So like when is it when is it enough? Like I know we're a young team. I know we're a new team. I know we're building. I know it will take time. I get that. So like, but it seems like most of the people are like just content. Where like, oh, we'll just go and be okay. Because I mean, we see people mad at the chats and everything, but at the same time, like they're still going. And like I said, at the end of the game, we're still clapping at a team that performs horribly.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to me to just see that. I think at this point we've reached a level of apathy, and we're just kind of. I hate to say the word accepting of where we are, but it feels like we're just accepting of where we are, and that's frustrating because you expect and you want better. I'm gonna see if I can share something real quickly because Oscar, I think this is, and I know we'll probably have like an end of season recap, and we can dive into this then as well. But um, I want to see if I can share this real quickly with you guys because I've been tracking the results comparatively for our managers. So let me see if I can pull this up real quickly because technology is my strong suit apparently. So here is a real quick comparison. Should pull up there now, Mo, of where the results are, starting with Bradley Carnell in 2024, Hackworth, Melberg, and Critchley. So wins, you can see Critchley has 5, so he's won almost as many as Hack. He could match Hack in wins if he wins out. He's lost more than Hack, does not have, and has one fewer draw. So he's taken more points than Melberg did, almost matched Carnell in points in 2024. All this data and all the numbers really just point to one thing. We've scored more. We've conceded probably about more or equal. And so the results aren't there. We're just more entertaining. But I don't know what you guys take away from it, but a 5-10-2 record in 17 games isn't enough for me to say Critchley's the guy. Regardless if the players like him in the locker room, digs him, and as a fan, I'm sorry. I want, you know what? I want you guys to tell me your opinion on this because this is
Oh
I've
boy.
said this to a few. No, I've said this to a few people. And I think I've said it in our DMs. My standing on it is I don't care if the players like the manager. I want them to respect the manager. What do you guys think? Do they have to like the guy that they're going to play for?
Nope.
Is that important?
Nope.
No.
No.
Because anything I've ever listened to, if any of the guys from United, the Gary Nevilles, any of the guys that were in the class of '92, Scholes, any of those guys, Rooney, they didn't like. Yes, eventually they won, so they were fine. They got along with Ferguson, but they'll tell you they were scared to death of the guy. They respected him and feared him. They weren't best buddies. They weren't going to go out for drinks after the game. They weren't going to order pizza and take a smiling picture in the locker room after a win in the middle of a useless season. They knew what the
I
manager
mean,
expected.
it's
Go
the
ahead.
same thing with what Pep Guardiola philosophy is. The same thing as Luis Enrique philosophy is. Like they demand a lot from their players that they're not gonna be best friends. Like they're just that's just not gonna happen. Like you're demanding so much and you're yelling at their faces pretty much every day until it comes game time, and then you support him. But during the practices, if you see any of the practice recordings from those shows that they do for each team, you see them yelling and yelling and yelling and getting pissed off on their faces and going. And here we all dance kumbaya and we go like, yeah, yeah, we're so fun and yeah, we're a great team. And like, no, no, no. And also, Jeremy, also, I think I mentioned it to you, but nobody in the face of the earth as a player is gonna say, I don't like the coach. Nobody's gonna come and say, I don't want to play for this coach because guess what? You're out. Or
Right.
just sit on the bench for the next games because it is what it is. Like it's
You have to
it's
be a
a
big enough player to be able to say that.
I don't even think I think the only thing
No.
that can do right now in the world is Messi is gonna say like, oh, I don't like this guy and then I just kick him out. But the rest of the players are not gonna be able to have enough courage and power to say, no, I don't want this coach to be our coach next year.
Yeah.
I think for me
That's
it's just.
not gonna come out.
I think for me it's just coaches are built different now these days, and players are built different because that fear that we're talking about, that was the old school coach mentality. Um, you mentioned Enrique and you mentioned Pep. Those coaches as well have the pedigree and the resume behind them, even as players, that those players know who they're dealing with. Um, but I think each managers had their way of working because even though Sir Ferguson was like the patriarch in Manchester United, but then you looked at Arsene Wenger, he was not that way. He was a little bit more relaxed, but they still respected him, but they did not fear him. And then after that, you look at Mourinho, they did not fear him. They kind of consider him like a father figure. So that's where the respect was. So the players were able to run through walls for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now a lot of the coaches that you look coaching, you can remove the Enrique and because they're in a different galaxy altogether. A lot of these coaches now, if a player looks at them, they were like, "So how far did you go again?" The level of coaching, the player and the coaches are almost as equal, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys were the sporting director, they were the scouts leader, they were the coaches, they were everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they were able to build those guys how they want them. Now these days, some of these players have more power than coaches themselves. Except there's a handful of coaches that can come into a club and say, "Hey, I need these 5 players if you want to hire me." But now here these days, coaches are actually chasing clubs to get the job. Versus,
Yeah.
that's why Mourinho keeps getting jobs. He does not even chase them. He's gotten the best clubs in the world that he has coached. And did you ever hear him says, "No, I want to go interview for that club"? He's
No.
like, "No, oh, Mourinho is free. Let's call him."
I mean, what was he unemployed for like a day after getting sacked by
Yeah.
Fenerbahce? I
And
mean,
then
he gets
right
sacked
back.
and then he's got 2
Benfica.
days later. Yeah, Benfica. Yeah, he went
And
right
he
back to
already
Benfica.
had that arranged. But
I
And
mean, it wouldn't
Benzema,
shock
yeah.
me.
And now he's talking about bringing Benzema, that he wants to take him from Saudi
Yeah,
to. It's like those are the type of coaches
but
that.
and the players will come for him
Oh hell
too.
yeah! They all talk to this day, saying the media may have said Mourinho was rude and all that, but every single players have only good
Mm-hmm.
thing to say. But I guess bring it back to the rich and all that. I think at this point we're starting to see too many coaches have been in place with almost the same core player
Yep.
without having productive results as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now the question is do these guys have it in them to be able to, one, if the game plan that's given to you does not work, how much talent do you have to be able to be the X factor during a game? Because the coach can give you as much instructions, all of the data and everything else to prepare you for the game.
Yeah.
But if one thing goes astray, are you able or allowed to perform, like, because you've become a professional somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And
Well,
you came with a set of
hey,
skills.
we have a LAFC fan in the chat,
Uh-oh.
and he
Where's
gave
my
us a
cat?
congratulations.
oh, that's good. That's that. I mean, hey, you guys embarrassed us at home.
Hey, we stopped them from do hat tricks in 4 games in a row.
Man,
We
look
should
at
be
that.
proud.
oh man, I'm so proud of us. Woo! Remind me who's closer to the wooden spoon again. Oh yeah. I
Uh-oh.
mean, no, but in all
Hey, we have to take
seriousness,
our wins. We have to take our wins.
no, I mean they're right. I can't be mad at it. But I mean, guys, so look, but going back to the roster first, I mean, this is I think the big thing too. We don't have game changers to bring in a game where something isn't working or we're chasing. Who do we bring in to chase a game? The worst goals to expected goals differential guy in all of MLS, Simon Betcher, because he's scored 6 less than he should have. That's literally the worst statistical guy in MLS at finishing is Simon Betcher. That's the guy. Celio Pompeo, who we've talked about, typically is on the bench. Who else? Ostrak. It's just we don't have Mackay Joyner, Brendan McSorley, who are unproven at the MLS level, great at next pro, but not proven. Like this is going to be blown up. and we've got, I forget exactly the number of guys. A rough count is somewhere in the near 20, maybe 21 guys who have contracts expiring. Some have options, some don't. That's why we've got to
Mm.
try to blow this up and rebuild. But I put this on Twitter earlier. Matthew Doyle from MLS had it in his weekly armchair power rankings, and I think it's important to call out. This is a project. Whoever we're appointing in these roles, sporting director, coach, whatever. This is not to me. Just, and it's the nature of MLS. It's not a single window turnaround. Like, I think you do what you can in the wintertime. You fix the rosters the best you can. And your goal next year is to be closer to the playoffs. I don't know that we'll be a playoff team next year, but my hope is that by the next winter, at the end of the next spring window, next fall, whatever, that we're retooled and ready to seriously compete. If not at the end of 26, but all in 27. Because I don't see next year being a year where we seriously contend with, whether it's LAFC, whether it's Seattle, whether it's Portland, Miami, Philly, whoever you want to throw. That's where I think we realistically have to be for this conversation.
I think you
I
you
think
heard
you
me
can be
say it before.
competitive next year.
What?
I think we can be competitive next year. I don't know if we can guarantee that we're gonna be a play contender, but we could do something like kind of like what San Jose did this year. They were like very bad last year, and then this year, um, they're at least competing. They're trying to get into those positions.
Yeah.
Um, but what you see with San Jose is like they had great players on the front that they can score goals and they can win games randomly, but they also make a lot of mistakes on the back. So now,
Yeah.
like probably if I was working for San Jose, my next step is to find two solid defenders and a center mid that is gonna get the balance between the good offense that they have
Mm-hmm.
with a solid defensive work. And they'll
Yeah.
probably, if they get that next year, San Jose will make it in a playoff, no doubt. If they
Yeah.
keep the three on top, like if they keep Chicho and Martinez and Espinoza.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, but that's a front office that, well, San Jose to a lesser extent. Like, to go back to LAFC for a second. I mean, we talked about Smolyakov, a U22 left back. They went out and spent 20 million to get Son. They've paid to get Bouanga. They've got other guys, Marky Delgado. They've gotten, and they are an ownership group out there. Like, yeah, they have money, so they're not afraid to spend, or not maybe as tight on the budget as a team like St. Louis is. And I don't know that we're ever going to compete with them in spending in terms of budget. But I think what we have to do, and what we have to try to learn and aspire to is be willing to spend in the right places. Like, yeah, we just bought a $3.2 million defender in Falou Fall. That's great. If he turns out and shows up the way we think he could be, and we could sell him on later for a big profit, that'll be a fantastic bit of business. It'll be well after, unfortunately, Lutz, the guy that brought him here, is gone, but that could turn out well. But outside of that, where else are we investing? Son was a big investment. Him and Bouanga have now combined for like 17 goals in 6-7 games. I mean, that's what we need to aspire to be. Maybe not to the level of a $20 million striker from the Prem, but not afraid to spend on attacking players.
CDM, 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 CDM.
But Mo, you just said the MLS
And
isn't built to defend. So why are we buying a CDM?
but
I'm
guess
just
what?
kidding. I'm kidding. I want a
But
6-2.
but you got to counter, right? So but I think also we need, like, how many people could honestly tell me that they heard about Buonga until he showed up in LAFC?
I didn't know who he was.
But yet he's destroying people here. My question now is that, can we actually go to the places that we know these type of players are available at a decent price and get them. Because clearly the other clubs are reaching out, going to leagues that maybe not many people are familiar with, but they're able to find players that can match the endurance of what MLS is like.
Yeah. So
Like
go ahead.
it's not it is not that difficult.
No. Well, I mean, and he wasn't from an unknown league. He was playing, and I've just looked at it. He was playing at Saint Etienne,
Yeah,
and they
I
four.
watched him for like 15 years. I knew who he was with Gabo and all that. He's
Yeah.
he was been around Paris for a long time. So I knew who he was. Um at one time he could have played for France too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where there's
And
plenty of players across the world that are probably be a lot cheaper and
mhm.
that can produce the exact same thing.
Well,
But if you look at
and
a
he
lot of
was.
these teams, they're going South America and they're going to Africa
Mhm.
to get those players, or they go in some European places that have that ethnicity too, because that's how you build your team, right? That's where they try to build
Mhm.
players from different background so that you can have
Mhm.
a little bit more of a mixture when it comes to play, right? Everybody comes from those different part of the world, brings into your team, and then they figure out how they can match it up.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't terribly expensive either. I mean, if you think about, so we just mentioned Falu Fall, $3.2 million signing roughly was what some of the reported fees have been. But Denis Bouanga, it was 4.5 million euro, or I think it's euros is what Transfer Market has. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, it's more expensive than Fall, but comparatively, it's in kind of the same ballpark. So again, it's being willing to spend a little bit more for a guy who, or for the uh, level of a player who can dynamically and significantly change. And it's got to, in a way, I know we've been like, we love the budget spending of like, oh, we can get Toykert on a free, we can get Hartle on a free, we just have to wait. I really, really hope that we somehow break out of that a little bit.
Yeah, but shouldn't we then maybe need other people that come into the front office and leadership and ownership? Because we're talking about the clubs that are spending, but LAFC does not have just one owner. They have multiple people that have the funds where if you have five owners, you say, hey, we need this player. Let's put together $7-10 million and we'll split it in seven versus you going to say, hey, owner, we need $10 million for a player. Does that mean maybe now we need to have additional, I guess, owners to be able to spend that type of money? Unless they have it, which I'm not sure that's there.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be like expanding huge on one player. I think we need to find the right talent because we were not scouting correctly. Nothing fits the style we want to play, right? Um I mean, just LAFC kind of plays the same way. Like they want to play um high press when it's needed, quick counters, and you see how much they outplay us in energy and in willingness and like speed and everything. So if you find players that they're engines, that they're going, they're willing to put the work in with talent, then you can do something. But it doesn't have to be let's go get a Son and a Boanga. Let's no, I think it's more like we need a Palencia. We need the left winger that Jeremy has mentioned multiple times. Um, the other kid that the LAFC has that he didn't play that much this game, but he has been showing a lot is Ramirez, I believe.
Oh, the U22
Martinez.
striker.
Martinez. And then also they have Ordaz that has been hurt, I guess. Because he was another one that he was playing like just type of players like that. But if you're gonna go like seriously, go to South America and you're gonna find cheap players that they're willing to do that job with great quality. But you go on the other side and like I'm sorry, but like I said it at the beginning of the cast, they're cold. These players that we have, they're cold. They don't feel that passion that other players do in other countries.
No.
Oh snap! We got someone from
Hey,
Brazil. What?
Hey, welcome.
International?
Worldwide. Uh, that's
Woohoo!
fantastic.
All right,
No,
thanks for joining us.
no, so Martinez, I think Martinez, he did sub on. I don't remember if he
he
played a
did. He
role
did.
in that third goal or not, but um, yeah, he was playing really well early in the season before they got Son. I think if I remember correctly.
And they
Um,
had Ordaz. Then it was Ordaz was the other one that, but I don't see him on the
but I
lineup
mean,
anywhere.
but to the point though, he's also when we talk about our U22 slots, Martinez is a U22. So it's just again, they're
And
the
our U22s are Darkin and
fall and
Mister
Sang-min
Mister JGR.
and JGR. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't use his spot, so
Yeah, and unfortunately he's stuck. You're right. Yeah, that's a great shout. I mean, with roster mismanagement again because that U22 spot is locked up, even though he's a loan until he's sold or otherwise.
yeah, he ain't coming back.
No, I mean I know, but that's frustrating. It's just a mess. This roster is a mess. Um,
Yeah, yeah, but with in that case, then so it looks like with LAFC something that we want to forget about. But now the next step is that what should be our expectations for the remaining two games, I believe, home
well, so we've got Austin FC on the road,
and
and then we play RSL at home
RSL.
after a break because we have the game this weekend. Then we're off until the 18th, and we'll celebrate my birthday on the final day, eliminated from the playoffs against RSL, who, if
We
I
better
recall,
beat them and then boo them when they're in town.
that'd be fine. I'm trying to look real quickly. Yeah, they are nearly eliminated. So here's the thing. They have, let me look real quickly. So they actually have a game in hand on San Jose and Dallas and Colorado. So when we play them, they very well may be fighting for a playoff berth because they are on 37 points now, just 1 point out of the playoffs. So that will be interesting to watch. Austin, however, since we play them first, they're probably firmly in the playoffs on 44 points right now in sixth place.
But they still have a US Open Cup finals that they have to worry about. So
They do. And then that's, I guess that's the to dream the dream of having to worry about another two trophies in a season. Oh, that would be a dream.
Hey, we're
uh,
fighting for one. No,
no,
We're leaving that to Edgar.
we're saved already. Or I mean, we failed on that
No,
one too.
let me look because I think
anything
LA
is
Galaxy have a
possible.
game in hand. That's a good answer from LAFC. I mean, it's not, but what?
I mean, it's a correct answer. It's something that is supposed to be that way.
Do we need to go check on
Using you.
Ryan? Ryan might be having a meltdown. Yeah, Matt agreed.
Man,
It's gonna
we
be
went so long that he finished the 6-pack and another 6-pack and
passing.
another 6-pack.
He's passed out on the keyboard.
Right.
No, F's in the chat. No, I get that reference. So in anyway, yeah. So the spoon, it'll be interesting, but that's the thing is, I mean, all right. So we have 2 games left. We are 4 points off of the spoon. I don't know what we realistically have to get to avoid it. I'm hoping we get at least a win. Austin's going to be tough just because Austin doesn't typically drop points at home. Austin has only dropped points at Q2 this year twice.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're basically 3 points away from that. Let's say
If
because
we
I
get
mean
it,
the
if we get
Galaxy has one more game to play.
Right. Yeah.
So if we don't win any points, we could be there.
Yeah, I mean DC's up against it at 25 points with 2 games left. So
They have
if that
they have
happens, I'm not
Charlotte.
going online.
They have Charlotte, so I think
okay.
Atlanta might be a possible game to win, but
Yeah.
they have Charlotte. I don't think Charlotte will drop points there. Let's see, Sport and KC what they have.
So just
They have
log off
Minnesota and
for a
Houston.
while if that
Nah.
happens, by the way.
Yeah. So
Oh, you won't see me until February next year.
Yeah, because it will be ugly.
but no, so we do play Austin. We're playing at the Q2. We haven't won at the Q2 since February it was actually our first game actually ever as a club. We haven't won there since. We did get a 2-2 draw in 2024, and this will be the only time we obviously play there this year. So we've never lost to. I take that back. We have lost to Austin at home. Austin beat us at Energizer Park earlier this year by a score of 1-0. And then, but overall, we're 3-1-1 against them. We've outscored them 12-8. As I mentioned a minute ago, guys, Austin doesn't lose at home. They are 6 wins, 7 draws, and 2 defeats at Q2 this season. They are at home unbeaten in their last 5 home games. They have drawn 3 and won 2. So their last 5 home, they're unbeaten. Actually, you could go back in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. They have not lost in their last 9 home games. In their last 5, which includes games on the road, they are 3-2 or 3-0-2. So they've got 2 losses and 3 wins. But they are a tough team at home to play. They at home only have a +3 goal differential, so they seem to play kind of a tight game at home. And just to give you a few stat leaders, their goal leaders this season so far were Owen Wolf, Murto Uzuni, and Osman Bukhari. Brandon Vasquez was up there until I believe he tore his ACL. Guilherme Biro has 4 goals as well. And then Owen Wolf was their assist leader as well so far this season. So few weapons. They're a team that hasn't given up a ton of goals, I don't believe, this season. They have allowed they have actually they have been outscored, and overall they are 34 goals for, 40 against. But that 40 against ranks them as like 10th in the West. So they've given up like the 5th fewest amount of goals in the Western Conference. So tough test for City on the road.
And I think, like I said on the chat, I think we just hit our quota already of winning away. So.
Oh, Dell, you did, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll bet to the point of some of the folks in the chat, maybe they're due for a loss because they haven't. Their last loss at home was all the way back in May. They have not lost at home since May 3rd when they were beaten 3-0 by Minnesota United. Yeah, their first. So that was their last loss. They lost their second home match of the year to Colorado, and then that loss at home in May was the last time they've dropped points at Q2 down in Austin. So the Verde and Black will be fired up because they're in the playoffs. They are. I don't think they've officially clinched yet, but they are sixth in the West, I believe, at last check, and they could potentially climb. I think. Yeah, they're just 2 points behind Seattle, but nonetheless, they will not be able to clinch a home playoff game, I don't believe, right away because LAFC is out of reach with 53 points. I think the win over us clinched them at least a home playoff game with the fourth seed locked up for LAFC in the 32-52.
So there's a chance. There you go. Let's play party poopers.
When is the U.S. Open Cup final? Actually, that's a great call out because
It's tomorrow, isn't it? Oh, on the 1st. Sorry. So it's Wednesday, right?
Oh yeah, so Wednesday. So you're right. I didn't even think about that yet. So they will be playing on short rest, and that could also mean a rotated squad.
Or it could mean that they win it and they all get hype up and go on destroy us too. So
Yeah, that's true too. But any
I think they're
expectations,
gonna win it.
thoughts? What's that?
I think Austin's gonna win it.
Yeah. Okay. Mo, you think we have a chance, or do you think we lose in Texas?
You know what? We're gonna win in Texas
Next year?
this year.
Oh,
Let's add. Come on, we have 2 already. We've beat our quota. So how about we just go above and make at
we
least
go
something?
above and beyond. You're gonna save the season. We're
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean,
happy
sure.
and
Yeah.
we're gonna be all.
So,
But there's a lot of people that are saying that C has nothing to play for. These guys, we know part of your contract. There's performing things that has to be checked. Play for that. Play for it.
It seemed like
well, I
they were
mean,
not playing for that on Saturday. So
That's
yeah,
that's
play
that's
play for
ludicrous.
the contract. How many of these guys are out of contract at the end of the year, right? Whether they're here or not, they got to play to impress somebody. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the I'm gonna. I hate to do this, but I almost want to call it like a silly storyline to watch. Is if we wear this could be if we wear it the last time we wear the Confluence kit. Are we able to break the curse one last time and win again wearing this? I do like the shirt. I like the kit. It is. I don't have a problem with the way it looks. We've just been dreadful in it. I think we've won twice wearing the kit.
Yeah, where's
I
this?
think I think we need a brand new like all kits.
Let's rebrand.
Like this red one this year definitely did not do any good.
No, that's been the both have been bad. But
Oh boy.
I don't know. I'm going with a
It's not
2-1
like the
City.
uniform plays, but okay.
No, but no, I'm gonna go with a 2-1 City win. I think somehow, some way we find a way away from home. Hopefully Kessler's back. We have a break coming up. They're playing midweek, so I'm gonna go with a 2-1 City win at Q2 this weekend.
I concur. I think that's what I'm gonna put for the rest of the season. 2-1 until it happens.
I'll see you and I'll race you. We losing 2-1.
Of course, Oscar has to be the one that goes the other way.
Look, hey, even after that dreadful performance that has me pissed off, I'm still a sucker and a masochist, and I won't abandon my boys. That's just the sadness of my life. I've
Um,
supported I've supported United this long. I can't give up on City after 1 year.
But you know what, guys? So with that say, thank you all for joining another episode of Top Corner Talk. Oscar, Jeremy, always good talking to you guys. So we'll see. You know what? the event was amazing. The tifo was great. STL Santos pulled it off again. Super Santo also my homie over there. I think he went from like a normal suit to having a suit with weather, feather, and all of that. That's at least the fans are showing up, even though maybe the
Yeah.
product on the field is not.
Um,
But we're still showing up every day.
and just real quick, Mo, I do want to give the Santos folks a shout out. The tifo was great. I did not make it to the fiesta, but I heard a lot of
Shame on
really
you.
great things from about all the pregame festivities that you guys put on. And then I saw a bunch of videos with Super Santo and La Cascarita podcast rolling out the red carpet on the Lufuse Plaza and all that. So just overall, an amazing way to celebrate Hispanic heritage. A job well done by Santos on everything that went into that, and the tifo. The tifo was fantastic.
I have to stop by and eat there though, because I think I keep walking by saying hi to Oscar and talk, and then after that I don't stop and eat. So I guess I'm due.
And you gotta do it next time.
Yes,
Yeah, we
I'm
had good stuff. We actually were able to provide food for the first 100 people that they show up. So it
So
was
I
free
was
food
part of
for
the
the first
first
100.
100, right?
Well, I don't know if you had a bracelet or not. I tried to get you to eat, and you didn't want to. So,
No, you did not try to.
um,
Come on. What?
yeah, I did.
When?
When we were
Oscar.
talking.
No.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was a great, great party. Great atmosphere on the fiesta. There was salsa and bachata dance lessons. There was some free shots here and there, some free beer,
Mhm.
thanks to Patron and Modelo that they're STL Santos sponsors. And there was a piñata for kids, piñata for adults, and I mean it was definitely very very fun time. And I mean we knew it was gonna be like our party until the tifo will go up, and then after it goes down, it was not a party anymore. It was just like
I
back
will
Hey,
to
say,
Oscar,
reality.
come on.
hey, the other thing I will just say, it was nice to see proper tifo rigging as well. I was extremely excited when I saw it actually that was going to be displayed properly. So, and the
Yeah,
message, and it was just really cool. It was a really cool design as well. And the art, I really loved that artwork that was on the little video boards too. That was really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. They were fun.
Yeah, you guys doing a great job. So, but I guess with that say, yes, I will go and have a meal last next time. But with that say, go City.